What is up, and welcome back to the Rig Podcast, episode number 31. This episode exclusively is presented this week by Rayham Burgers and Barbecue. Did you know that I am your host, Trevor Tiny Richards? Did you know that this is my co-host, Gavin Schott? And did you know this is home to your first place 13-0 Vernal Oilers? Tonight, we are without Caitlin, as she is cruising down the shores of Mexico on a cruise ship, so we will not have her tonight. We miss her. Hope she's having a lot of fun. She posted some pictures on Facebook and I think Instagram, so if you're not following her, go look. But her husband is 100% made for Mexico, and it would not surprise me if he does not make the trip back and becomes a cartel drug lord, because he is just fitting in down there like a madman. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. I just want to run through kind of what we got on the show today. We're going to recap over the weekend. We finally got some attention from the league, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Halloween, how everyone's Halloween was, the Colorado recap. We've got some listener questions. If you aren't following the podcast page on Instagram or on Facebook, you missed out. I think that's something we'll kind of be doing every week going forward. You can find that on the Rig Pod on Facebook or the Rig Pod on Instagram. And then we look ahead to this weekend's huge 3-game series against the Fresno Monsters. But of course, our number one story, Gavin, say it with me. I want everyone to say it with me. Everyone, like your life depends on it. 3, 2, 1. Seattle lost.
Seattle
again.
lost.
That is right. Seattle has lost one more time. This time again to the Bremerton Sockeyes. This time a shootout loss in Bremerton. I was so invested in that game. It was not even funny because it was on Friday night, had nothing going on. So I watched Seattle Bremerton. I watched the last 2 periods, and it was so good.
I rewatched the shootout at least at Longhorn Steakhouse.
Yeah. The last 20 minutes was really good. So the third period was really good. And then the last 5 minutes was pretty good. Seattle had a lot of chances, just couldn't put anything in the back of the net. Their goalie, what was his name? Hold on, I'll tell you.
I couldn't tell
Lepinen. I don't know his first name, but Lepinen's his last name. Was on his A game. Was phenomenal watching Lepinen play. So nothing really happens during the overtime, so they go to a shootout. It was kind of just play back and forth. There wasn't really any shots, any chances back and forth for each team. But they go to the shootout, and Seattle does not use Roman Wolniak as a shooter.
A very interesting choice for the Seattle
Their number
Totems.
one scorer, the number one guy in points last year, according to the USPHL website and the USPHL Instagram and Facebook. Number one, set records for points. He did not take a shootout attempt, which I thought was super weird. Next thing into the shootout, they did use Swantankinen. Finnish kid, really good. I like Swantankinen. Of all the people on their team, that's the one that I like, is Swantankinen. He gets it, crosses the blue line, and the puck stops, and he skates past it. He doesn't even get a shot on net. Which was so good. So good. I don't know if it just hit a dry spot. I have no idea, but it just stopped, and he skated right past it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy crap. That reminded me of Brad Marchand back in 2020 in Philadelphia.
And then they were upset about it. They were trying to argue. That's not the number one rule, easiest rule when it comes to shootout, is you cannot go backwards with the puck, and pretty much it. So when it stops,
you especially can't lose possession.
100%. 100%. I already talked to Chad Chad Olson, head coach, GM at Bremerton, fired up, of course. And I did ask him the week that he comes out this way, the week the team makes the trip out this way, if he would like to come on that week and talk to us. He said absolutely. So the beginning of December, about a month from now, when they make their trip out here, we're gonna have Chad on the podcast for a second to talk, because I think what he's doing with Bremerton is very interesting. Again, we saw it with Lake Tahoe over the last couple years, and if I can see a team that's consistently winning, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 5 against Seattle, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him, find out his story, find out about Chad itself. But I think that'll be a lot of fun. So that'll be next month before Bremerton makes their trek out here. Seattle's last 5 games: 5-4, 3-2 wins over Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe, who I thought maybe had turned a corner after winning Seattle, they did not. They lost all 3 games to Long Beach over the weekend. And we talked about Long Beach and how bad they were with Henderson, and then again with Fresno. So they lost 8-7 to Lake Tahoe, a 5-4 loss to Bremerton, and then they go back home to Seattle in the Olympic View Arena, I think is what it's called, and they win 9-0 over Bremerton. So I don't know if Bremerton is a good home team and not a very good away team. If Seattle is not a very good away team, but a very good home team, you go back and forth.
I think it really depends on both. I mean, I can't really see why Seattle would be a bad away team in Bremerton, just because I think they're only separated by 2 hours. I feel like we talked about it
It's
before.
not even 2 hours. It's like 35 minutes. It's around the bay.
That should literally be a home game for Seattle. They should have like all their fans make the trip out there and be supporting them. So I don't really get it. Maybe just Bremerton. They're just a tough opponent. Like, they could be one of those teams that, they're at the bottom of the standings. Well, Bremerton's not at the bottom of the standings, not in the Pacific Division,
They're in our division,
but they could just be one of those teams.
Bremerton's in our division.
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually looking at it earlier. Well, I was only looking earlier because I saw that there were a couple teams missing in the Alberta division. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I saw the Pacific Division. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting because it goes Vernal, Seattle, and then McCall, and then I think it goes Bremerton after
Bremerton,
McCall.
Iron County, and then Colorado rounds it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I maybe just Bremerton is just a tough opponent,
Well, and it could be that they amp themselves up for one game. They get so fired up for one game, they get that game and they're just exhausted. Back-to-back nights. That is a thing. That is a thing. If you can win 50% of 50% of your games against Seattle, then so be it. So be it. Would I not like to lose 9-0 the night after you win 5-4? Sure, looks a little fluky. I won't lie, but you win 2 out of your last 4 games against Seattle. That's solid, especially for a team that won 3 games last year. So, I think,
literally,
I think it's a good thing. You posted here that, you can see a rivalry kind of brewing, if it wasn't already before. But I think that's kind of what happens when you beat a team, especially a really, what was a really bad team. If you lose to them twice, you've got to step up your game. Seattle's game is what? Talking shit and beating the shit out of you physically.
Yeah, just basically just fighting, trying to get under your skin. I mean, it's a tactic. It works. Like, you can easily win a game if you get under the other team's skin and they can't play, and they take stupid penalties, and you're on a power play. And especially if you have a really good power play, you're going to be able to score. So, and also, like, it's just so because of how close those teams are, it's going to be a good rivalry between Bremerton and Seattle. It's kind of like, the just Penguins and Flyers, Ottawa and Toronto, kind of like those kinds of rivalries,
Yep, I agree. The battle within the state, you definitely see that all the time. But yeah, Bremerton again, one more time, a win against Seattle. I love watching Seattle lose. I said it last week and probably the week before. The hatred that I have for Seattle and the love I have for this team sometimes go neck and neck with each other, because I love watching Seattle lose. It's one of my favorite things.
I like to mention here before we move on, the only reason I decided to even look at the shootout between Bremerton and Seattle, it wasn't just because I'm curious, because my girlfriend, she, for some reason, likes the Bremerton Sockeyes. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to root against Vernal when they come and play against them. She's still going to root for Vernal, but she decided that she also likes the Bremerton Sockeyes. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you, because they're kicking the shit out of
Yep.
Seattle this year. Kinda.
Yep. Nope. I agree. Bremerton has definitely gotten to a little bit of a soft spot into Tiny's heart. That's for sure. Moving on off of that, Oiler Country. I think that you are the reason that we were named, or players from the team were named all 3 stars this past weekend, because I think low key they are terrified of you guys. We will find out for sure the next time they do the power rankings, which I think is probably next week. But based off of what happened with Bremerton, I forgot the goalie's name again. Why do I keep doing that? Lepinen. If Lepinen probably should have been up there. Unless I guess if he played Saturday, then probably not, because 9 goals given up's a little rough. But just
I wouldn't think he played just because he played the previous night. So I mean, if you have the what's the coach's
Chad.
name? Olsen has the mindset of keep the hot goalie playing, then maybe, but I don't think he played in Saturday's game.
Yeah. So quick shout out just to the 3 guys that were named players of the week. That was forward, our new forward who just got signed from Norway, Max Christiansen, who had 2 goals and 3 assists. Stanzik on defense, who had 2 goals. And then good old Peyton Hackling. Peyton Hackling. Disrespect continues there, because that's not his fucking name. Who allowed 2 goals and actually got an assist on the Stanzik goal. He's not credited anywhere, but he did get an assist on one of the Stanzik goals.
Oh, they spelled his name wrong.
Yeah, they added
there.
an L. Added an L. Peyton Hackling, which is one of
from the league itself.
Yeah.
Jesus
so not
Christ.
not that scared, I guess, but scared enough to name all 3 of them players of the week.
They're really trying to push and see how far they can really go with
100%. Okay, so Lepinen did play the second and third period and gave up another 5 goals. It was 4-0 after the first, and that was goaltender Alex Doyer for Bremerton. So he started out the first period, gave up 4 goals. They brought back in, it's Tobias Lepinen, and he gave up another 5 goals in the second and the third. But at that point, all the momentum's there. You haven't scored. You only get 16 shots on net this game. So little rough to come in ice cold into the second period and do something.
I mean, I'd have to go back to even watch to see if it was even Lepinen's fault. You know, it could just be bad defense.
Well, and he had faced 53 shots the night before.
He's probably gassed.
Definitely a tired guy. So, love that Peyton got it. I think the assist goes a lot into it, because you don't really see a goaltender with an assist. So I think that gets into it. But if there was another choice that should have been considered, I think Lepinen should have been up there. But like I said, I think they're 100% scared of Oil Country. I think they're scared of the Facebook mom chat that went absolutely wild on that post with the first power rankings. So good job to you guys. And just keep up the Lord's work. Keep up the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Before we get to Colorado and kind of talk about that shit god awful game, I do want to talk about our sponsor for today. It's Rayham Barbecue and Burgers. They will be set up this weekend once again on Friday and Saturday at the Western Park with their amazing barbecue. I once again would just like to show everyone just how glorious these things are. The thick noodles on this mac and cheese, the fresh jalapenos, which are really not that spicy. You see a couple seeds, but for the most part, not that spicy. You've got a little bit of sour cream. I do mine without sour cream because I'm not a sour cream guy. We've got amazing pork sitting on top. And like I mentioned last week, this bacon right here, is like a candied sugar, just bacon right off of God's personal pig. It's got to be because it tastes phenomenal. The way they do their bacon, it's crispy and it adds that perfect taste to that mac and cheese. They did sell out, so you do got to get there quick. Right when you get there, they generally open right around 7 o'clock, so you can get it while you're waiting in line for the rink to open up to everyone to come in. But go and let them know that we sent you. Show them some Rig Podcast love. Again, that's Rayham Barbecues and Burger. It's Braden who runs that. So thank you to those guys. We'll talk about them once or twice more because this episode right here is presented exclusively by Rayham Burgers and Barbecue. Muff that up. Might not sponsor again. But that's what you get. You know what you get when you come into this. So before we get to Colorado, though, I do also want to talk about Halloween. Hope everyone had a great Halloween. Big trunk or treat on Thursday at the rink. That was a lot of fun. Free skating. All the boys were out. All the boys, whether they were on the ice or whether they were out handing candy, all the boys were out. So it was good to see them. A lot of the billet parents were out. A lot of awesome costumes. So we'll talk about their practice they had Friday morning because it was a costume, practice where everyone gets into costumes. So I also,
or you could have had a Halloween like me, chilling in the basement watching some AHL hockey. Hershey Bears overtime winner over the St. Louis Blues affiliate Springfield Thunderbirds. Callie Rosen overtime winner. Now no longer a part of the Hershey.
So let's take a look at their the costumes from that night or that day. Turn sound off. Come back.
There were some interesting costumes, that I saw from that very
I thought
quick
they were
video.
phenomenal. So we're starting off with Wood as Woody, right? I love that. It's the way you start off. So Wood is Woody. Then you've got Stans as the Pope. Love that. Another Pope on the Friday Spit and Chicklets show. Biz dressed up as the Pope. So I'm not sure if Stans knows Biz, but both of them were the Pope. You've got Luke as, I'm going to go with the Weird Al Yankovic song of Amish Paradise, because that kind of looks a lot like it.
Yeah, I would say he looks like an Amish guy. Being from PA, I would know
That's
a little
fair.
bit about the Amish.
You're not too far from Amish country. Not too far at all. Hugo is a blew-up sumo wrestler. I did that one time. Just small personal story. I did that one time my junior year of high school. I had a blow-up sumo suit. There was one other guy that also had a sumo suit, and anytime we saw each other, it didn't matter if we were miles away down the hall. The second that we saw each other, we went into a full sumo set. We did the sumo start, and we would run at each other and then combine just like you would in a sumo wrestling. So Hugo's a sumo wrestler. Not awesome. Sure who this is. No face, but that's the Squid Game, I do believe. I've never watched the Squid Game, but I think that's the...
I need to really...
but that's not a contestant. I think that's kind of one of the people that run it, maybe. You've got Eric's here. I'm not probably a gamer. You got
back to school, kind of like like a fourth grader.
The Minecraft hat. You got the Minion shirt with the tag still on. Lose a little points there with the tag still on.
That's rough. Yeah.
This is from, I think this is Old School. I think that's Will Ferrell in Old School for Komitov. You've got a piece of bacon for Durik. You've got the eggs there for Cervenka. You've got the triple XL condom for Socha. shout out to our social media member who
okay.
thought that was the golden ticket from Willy Wonka, and that's why they were included. Shout out to the
Oh yeah.
TikTok comment that said, "There's no way he needs a double extra large." You got Peyton as a caveman. One of my favorites, that's McPhee as Alan from The Hangover. You've got Cole there as a caddy. I think that's from probably Happy Gilmore that just came out. You've got Hill as a full-fledged American. You've got the banana there from Rikiki. You've got Glos here with just your standard pimp outfit. Love that. That is Hagnalov as a clown, upside down clown, standing on his hands. You've got Benny with the alien suit. Not sure who that's is.
Brilliant.
And then you've got Powers, Henson, Tids, all kind of in this. I don't know for sure what that is. It might be from Tires, if I had to guess, maybe, or maybe from, because then you've got Bauman with it as well. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. And then Brett in shorts, that's crazy. You've got Luigi, that's Hendrix. Cam Roth as
Mario.
Santa Mario. I don't know if he couldn't find a Mario shirt, so he just went with a Santa shirt. And then here's the creme de la creme. The creme de la creme of the costumes. Taking me back to when Trevor could wear a costume and he was a Power Ranger. Way back in the days. These are...
What color Power Ranger
I'm
were you?
90% sure I was the red one. Because yellow was girl, pink was girl. Black was not out yet. This was like original Power Rangers. So it was just the 4. So green, red, pink, yellow. And then I think they threw in a black and then a white is kind of how that went, or it was white and then black, one of the two. But these are your fearless behind the bench coaches. That's Dom right there in the green. And then you've got Hauser in the red as he comes out. Tries to... Probably one of the worst ice showers I've ever seen in my entire life.
I can't even see any snow there, Trevor.
But those were your Halloween costumes. I give everyone, for the most part, an A grade. The tag on the next shirt, a little crazy. A little crazy. Can't take the tag off. Unless he's going full into little kid and just not taking tags off, then it's an A+.
Well, imagine if it was one of those, shirts that had the like ink on it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you
yeah,
rip them off
the ink
and
comes ever.
Just
Yeah,
goes everywhere.
Yeah. So that was your costume practice. I think they did very good. They had a lot of fun with that. And then Friday night, taking the kids out trick or treating, just in my neighborhood alone, back-to-back houses that we trick or treated to. All I'm wearing is my Oilers hat and just warm clothes. Both of them shout out and say that they listen to the podcast, they love it. So if that's you guys in my neighborhood, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the podcast. It's just absolutely mind-blowing that back-to-back houses, both Oiler fans, both fans of the podcast. So thank you. That you can ask my...
Didn't even
didn't ask. Didn't ask.
Didn't even take pictures?
No pictures. I was with my kid, so can't get too big in front of the kids. Definitely can't get too big in front of the wife, because she was already like, "That's dumb. That's so dumb that you're so excited about that. That's crazy." She didn't really say that. She was actually very happy too. But I thought that was awesome. Just back-to-back people with the podcast, just saying they listen to it. So thank you a lot for the support. If we're talking about autographs, the game after I got back, so that Friday game, so the Saturday game for Henderson, all the boys are out signing stuff. And there's a little girl who's got a hoodie, and she's getting everyone signed. And she goes, "Did I miss anyone?" to her mom. "Did I miss anyone?" And they come walking past me, and I go, "Well, the most important one's standing right here." And she looked at me like I was the biggest idiot that she had ever seen in her entire life. She goes, You're not a player. You're not that important." And I said, "On the contrary, if you ask everyone around us right here, I might legitimately be the most important person. So, yeah, she didn't ask and just kept walking.
Well, Trevor, if it'll make you feel better, I do have a flight to Vernal just so I
No,
can
you
get your
don't.
autograph, and then I'll come.
No,
I'll come
you
back home.
don't.
How do you know? How do you know?
I know.
Might be a little Christmas
wait,
surprise.
there's nothing happening around Christmas. Don't come out here for Christmas. You'll run into snow, you'll hate it, it'll be terrible. And cold. You may get snow like we get a little bit. You might get a big one, but it'll melt fairly quick where you're at. Here, it doesn't melt because once the sun goes down, we're negative temps. Negatives.
I can believe it.
And it
I can believe
holds. It holds. It's not like a wind chill comes in and it's negative. It is the sun goes down and it is negative. Walk from your car door to fill up your gas tank. You get the gas pump, you swipe your card, put the nozzle into your car, and your nostrils are froze. Cold.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
That's where we're at. So let's talk about Colorado. I mean, we talked last week about how none of us really cared. I don't know if Colorado even cares because they had a total of like 12 skaters on their team between the bench and the ice. So not a lot to talk about.
Still can't compare real quick to the PAL Junior Islanders elite team that had to cancel their games this upcoming weekend against the Hershey Cubs elite because they only had probably less than 5 skaters.
And shout out to the Hershey Cubs elite team who are killing it.
Yeah, they I think they had oh man, I can't remember. I know they beat Elmira. I don't remember if it was in overtime or not, but I know they beat them. And always like to see a good win against
Could
Elmira.
probably use a couple of those boys to come up and play with their premier team. Maybe help a little bit.
Oh no! All the guys that were on the elite team, all the good guys, are up with the premier team right now. Like I think the elite team's captain is up there right now, and a couple other good players.
Yeah, keep pulling because you've got 7 points for Hershey in the premier, and you've got 19 points for the elite. So,
well, as I mentioned before, the Hershey Cubs premier, they're turning everything around. Like they are really trying to like redefine everything there. I haven't been able to make it out to a game since their home opener. So
I've watched a couple on Black Bear just because it's been on there early. So I've watched a couple games. That rink's super nice. I love it's like an actual arena.
It was an actual arena. It was home of the Hershey Bears from 1936 to 2002.
Old as shit arena.
Oh, so much history is in there. Like you walk into the old barn, you can just feel the history around you.
You can kind of see it on the just the stream itself. But yeah, going back to Colorado, we saw the debut of the new Norwegian. Like I said, his name's Maximilian. So we've got another Maximilian on the team. So you got Gloss, and now you have Christiansen, who started on the top line with Tids and Bauman. Powers being out. Speaking of Powers, he will be back on Saturday. He only got a 2-game suspension for what normally is like a 5 to 6 game suspension. So
he is so lucky. He is
2
so
games.
Lucky.
So he'll be back Saturday. So he's gonna miss Friday's game against Fresno, and then he'll be back. So we'll have, that top line is gonna be dirty. That first power play line with this new Christiansen kid, dude, super nice. One of the most polite guys I've ever met. I went to practice on Monday. Super chill dude. Super nice dude. So we'll see where he fits in. I'm not sure if he goes second line. I'm not sure if we put Powers down on the second line. You can't put Powers on the second line because of how good he's played. So I think you kind of just got to move Christiansen down. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But
I guess the only way you could send down Powers is just veteran leadership. Get a guy who knows, the game with the new guys, if that's
It's
what we're
possible.
talking about here.
It's possible, but even that second line is Roth, and Roth has got experience too. So I think
He's an
I
A for a
think
good
you
coach.
stick with that top line because Tids, Bauman, and Powers have just been so good that you just got to stick with it. It's probably the best first line in the USPHL, like without question. So only surprise that I could think of is that we started off slow. There was only 3 goals in the first period, and then we came out strong in the second with 6, so it was 9-0 after 2. Ended up winning 13-2. We kept Colorado to 9 shots on net, and the highlight of the game, as my guy on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, Ollie, I think it's Poster Ryan, would say, fish, fish, fish. The Michigan goal from Durek in the third period was lead.
There was another Michigan goal this past weekend. The Cubs premier team actually had a Michigan goal scored on them when they played a game in Westchester. So that's
Embarrassing.
2 that I know of in the
Embarrassing.
USPHL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassing. If you get a mish put
Yep.
on you, it's so bad. So bad. But if you have
I know I threw it in the group chat, but I remember one of my games. One of my teammates scored a Michigan goal, and I assisted on it. I do remember that. Those are crazy goals. Crazy.
We saw it last year with Dom. He had one, and then Gorno had one a couple games later. So in the past 2 years, we've had three fish. If you don't follow Ollie on Instagram, go follow him. He's hilarious. A lot of hockey stuff. He's the big skit that he's known for is being on his knees shuffling around, and that's the kid that only does Michigans, and has now gotten to the storyline where people are starting to realize that he can hit a mish from the defensive zone and score on his, in his net. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun Instagram follow. Hockey Instagram's a lot of fun. I'll admit. There's a lot of good. Coach Chippy, love Chippy. He's a lot of fun, especially when he puts on the rap Marchand face. Love that. So Instagram hockey's a lot of fun. Anything else?
I like hockey benders. I like hockey benders when he does like the coaching on the ice. Like your team loses 10-0 and you have practice the next day, and it's like get on the line. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. Lot of good guys.
That's Seattle. Seattle.
A lot of good guys on Instagram hockey. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this Colorado game?
Another practice game is beyond us. Let's get ready for Fresno.
Yeah, no, I agree. Fresno is definitely the number one thing that we're looking forward to, and I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to it. Just chill with us for a little bit. We will get to it. It's podcast production. Make you wait for the good stuff, or you can always just skip ahead if you want, but don't listen because I feel like we put on a really good podcast. We've got some listener questions, so let's go over those real quick. I'm very excited to go over our listening questions. So let's.
This was the Instagram and the Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. So once again, if you're not following the Rig Podcast on Facebook, the Rig Pod on Instagram. The first one was from Vernal alumni Kai Soar that says, "No question, but let's go, fellas." Okay, thank you, Kai. We've got a couple of legit questions. Let me go back. Okay, this is one that I really like. How do the different coaches approach intermissions to keep the players and the team fired up? So it depends on situation, right, Gavin? I mean, you've played hockey, so you kind of understand the intermission. I played baseball, so it's kind of the in-between innings. Generally after you hit, going into that top of the inning is kind of where you get your coaching from, but it's all based on game situations. So going into like Henderson's Sunday game when we're down 3 goals, 4 goals, whatever it was, going into that intermission, that one is going to be an ass-ripping conversation. We shouldn't be down. What are we doing? Pull your heads out of your asses. Play hockey. Play your game. stuff like that. Coming out of the intermission going into the intermission against Henderson on Friday, being up 2-1. It's keep playing your game. It's keep doing the things that have got you to here. Don't make the dumb mistakes. It's a lot more, rah-rah than it is getting constantly ripped for the entire, 15 minutes that you're in. And then there's kind of right in the middle, which is do what you do, but you're also being dumb. And that's kind of, whatever. If you go to the Oilers Instagram page, there is kind of a pump up video going into this weekend. You see Dom in the locker room just running laps in the locker room like a madman. That's going to be your pregame pump up. That's what Dom is here for. That's what Mitch did last year was pump the boys up before the game. So if you kind of want to see that glimpse,
or if you read the opening starting lineup and just get the boys fired up.
Yep, you see that in Shorzy, Shorzy, you're going hoorah or whatever it is that they do. That's in every locker room. It doesn't matter if it's 8U all the way up to the NHL. It's the same thing. You're going. Everyone gets excited for whoever's starting.
On both of my teams, we do this thing where whenever we read the starting lineups, we have to go like this.
Okay. Yep.
Smack the thighs like 2 or 3 times, and then you clap.
So
the entire time.
Again, pretty much kind of standard for an NHL, for a locker room period. You see that if you watch the Face Off series on Amazon Prime. You see that there. Same thing. It's kind of just how it is pregame. We have questions about the Fresno look ahead, so we'll get to that here in just a second. Another one that came in was, are we going to have decent reffing or the same as last series? This one I can't for sure tell you, but what I will say is that I actually enjoyed the reffing that we've had the last couple series against McCall and Fresno. They've really let the boys play. They've really let the boys, after a whistle, kind of scrum it up a little bit and not give penalties. Henson probably should have been suspended for a couple of games after that, jumping after the kid broke his stick. So probably should have had a suspension there. But I personally don't think the reffing has been that bad the last couple of games. I think it's been very good the last couple of series. So what are we going to see this weekend? I don't know. I can't tell you, but if it's anything like we've had the last couple of days or the last couple of series, I think it's going to be good. If we can get Zito, if we can get Bustle, and then the one guy that was wearing the orange bands on Friday, Saturday, I think that makes for a very good reffing crew that you can rotate all three, have different bands for all 3 games. I think that would be a very good way to go. So that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and start talking about the Fresno series. This is a big one. This is an absolute massive series coming in. Fresno is undefeated. Fresno is gone all in on this team like the Oilers did last year. They are an older team. They kept a lot of players and are coming in legitimately ready for a war. And I cannot be more excited for this series than I probably have for any other series, and that includes the Seattle Championship. That includes any of the games against Seattle last year. That includes the games against Fresno last year, which were all 3 close. This series is going to be something else. So the questions that we have are, who are the top players on the Monsters that could make a scary impact? Love the pun there between Monsters and scary. I love that. So let's pull up Fresno's Fresno's points right now. Your leading scorer is Brian Urte. He has got 8 goals and leads the team with 20 assists as a forward. So he is your playmaking forward. He is your who would your NHL comparison be for 8 goals, 20 assists, averaging 3 points a game?
Probably just a random defenseman.
Well, I don't know if I'd go defenseman. I definitely would go.
How about Logan Cooley? He's doing pretty good right now.
Okay, so you can go Cooley. I was also thinking kind of like a Barkov, who doesn't score a ton, but throws pucks around the ice to sticks that makes it easy for everyone else to score. So maybe an Alexander Barkov type player. 28 points. Then you've got number 20. This is Verte Sacco, who's got 13 goals, 11 assists with 24 points. Those are your top 2 scorers. Then you've got Adrian Gomez with 19 points and William Lindgren with 18 points. People that we have seen before on this team include Felix Paula and Xavier Paula. They are the twins from Hungary who were on Seattle last year. You've got Tyson Bomback. We saw him last year. Felix Heines. Saw him last year. Sebastian Vesterland. Jonathan Anderson. Connor Perdue, Josef Nystrom, Niles Toonbrat, Mateo Tavares, Alex McIsaac, William Lindgren, all people that were on Fresno last year. So they are returning a ton of players. Their scariest, if you had to put down who their scariest person is, it is not a skater. It is not a coach. It is number 31, Noah Hammerstrom, who has a under 1 goals against average with a 0.83 goals against average and a 972 save percentage.
Good God.
That is the actual monster on the Monsters. That is the one that is hiding under the bed. That is the one in the closet. That is the one to be scared of. If you want to go to their backup has a 947 save percentage and a 1.74 goals against average. So when I come to the game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I say that the boys need you behind them for all 60 minutes or 60 minutes plus, because it would not surprise me if these are 5-5 games going into an overtime. I truly mean it is on your feet for every good thing that happens. It is being loud. It is every air horn that you can find. It is every cowbell that you can find. We need to sound like a Mexican soccer game or a Swedish-German hockey game where it is constant cheering, constant going, because Fresno has not played a home game yet. So they're used to playing on the road. They've played all 9 of their games on the road. They don't have a home game until December 5th is their first home game. Wow. So they're used to being on the road. So being on the road is nothing for them. The only thing that we have right now, besides the team that we have on the ice, besides the coach that we have behind the bench, the coaches behind what I can provide for everything, is you guys on that opposite side and being loud and being just involved and energetic legitimately all night long, even if we go down 2, even if we go down 3, because we are the comeback kings. Regardless, you need to be loud.
You need to be loud on the ice.
Yeah, it needs to be all night long. The next question was, who is the main goon/enforcer for the Fresno team to look out for? I'm going to be real with you. It is the entire damn team. The entire team. Most of these kids are shitheads. Gonna be honest with you. After every sweep that they've had, 3-game sweeps, after the last game of completely humiliating each team on the last game, they all go congratulate their goalie on probably another shootout, because out of those 9 games, they've had 3 shutouts. So go congratulate the goalie. They turn around and they all, in a similar motion, sweep their sticks along the ice to signify, we swept your ass and we are not afraid to show you the attitude to do so.
I mean, when you're playing against a team called the Fresno Monsters, you better expect them to be kind of shitheadish. Reminds me of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, because they got a lot of guys that will get under your skin.
They're Philly's AHL team, so
this team's going to get under your skin. That's most likely going to be the case.
This comes down to this team being older and understanding the game within the game. I always like to say this about sports. You have got the game that we're watching. Within that game, there are several other little games that are happening. At any point on the ice, you've got the main game going, then you've got a game between the goalie and the forward that's in front. You've got a game between the 2 D-men who are trying to sneak down, come up. You've got a game on the forecheck. Those are all different games that are happening within the game. Shit talking and getting under someone's skin in hockey is a huge game within the game. And as you get older, you understand how to play that game. So with all of those names that I have named off that understand that game, they are going to use that because, like we've said, we do have a younger team. We do. Hill in 07, Hendricks in 08, Hugo in 08, Socha in 08, Stanzik in 07, Tidsbury in 07, Holman in 07, Brody Wood in 07, Gloss in 07, Ballware in 08. So we've got a super young team, and those are the people that they're going to try to pick on to grab a cheap-ass penalty. They're going to try to pick on Henson. This is the one series where Henson's got to be that mob boss on the ice. He's got to be the final boss. He's got to be the guy that says, I'm not touching you until you have earned the right to touch me. Until then, I'm going to do my thing on the ice. I'm going to play hockey as good as I have the whole month of, the whole season. And he's got to do that, and he's got to keep his head clean. Same thing with Brody. Brody has got to keep his head clean. I know that he's fired up coming in, but you can't just immediately drop the gloves for no reason. Everything that happens in this 3-game series has to happen for a reason. Whether it's a big hit, whether it's a fight, whether it's after the whistle, everything has to happen for a reason. As almost if it's scripted, because you have to maintain a clean game against these guys, because they will turn right around and they will use that against you.
Like you said, they are probably going to be a very hard-hitting team. They're probably going to be in your face the entire time, and they're going to make sure that, they're not here to dick around. I mean, they're probably going to, they're going to antagonize them. They're probably going to try and make them fight, make them get a 5-minute major, and then they get a power play so they can go out there and get a good scoring opportunity. Like you said, Trevor, this game is a game within itself. And if you are able to successfully not have Fresno get into your head, you basically won the game.
Agreed. 100% agree. With special teams, let's bring that up real quick. Middle of the top middle of the power play, they're only 27%, but their PK is 92%. They average somewhere right around, whether or not it's a power play or not, there's about 40 minutes of penalties that they average per game through the 9. But it's easy to do that when you're playing terrible teams and you don't mind just scaring them, I guess, in lack of better words. Our penalty or our power play, if we can get a penalty, if we can draw those penalties, we're 32%. We're 3rd in the league. So we need to focus on drawing penalties. That's something that we need to do, is focus on drawing penalties. If we get a penalty, just like last year, just like it's been all up to this season, we're a 95% penalty kill. We're 3rd in the league. 3rd in the league in power play, 3rd in the league in penalty. So good, great numbers there. Beyond playing that game, the older guys need to step up. Tricosis, Hagnalov, Rakicki, Greenwood, Durick, Jimenez, Henson, Bauman, Powers, Roth, all these experienced guys that have played against the Seattle that went to, nationals last year. This is where you've got to step up and really show your leadership. This is where you've got to put the foot down and control the pace of the game, control the flow of the game. Play your game and make them play your game. Run hard on the forecheck. Chip it in, run hard on the forecheck. Don't make stupid mistakes on the blue line and allow a breakaway or a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 opportunity. Don't get sucked down. I haven't been able to watch a ton of film because I would imagine this is what it was like playing against us last year. We were beating up on terrible teams, and so there wasn't much film to look at minus, this guy scores, this guy has a good shot, these guys can pass the puck around. We'll see what happens when they run into a great team that we have. But this is going to be the toughest 3-game stretch that the Oilers have played in 2 years, without question. At Nationals, we had 2 games that were tough. It was Potomac and it was Springfield. That's it. Other than that, we ran through everyone else. We did not have a 3-game stretch that was super hard, that was super close, that at no point did we not feel confident in coming back. Did we not feel confident in we were 100% winning? Going into every game last year, we 100% knew that we were winning the game. Now, am I 75, 80% sure that we're winning all 3 games this weekend? Yes. But there's that 20%, that 25% that goes, you don't know. You don't know. A bunch of people have said it would not be surprising if we go 3-3 between the 6 games because we have a away series with Fresno in February. So the season is kind of bookend and started here. Like this gets you the notice that you want. This gets you the power ranking that you want. This better put you, if we win all 3 games, this better put you at 2. No questions asked. If Fresno wins 2 out of the 3 games, that puts them up into second place easy. Easy. There's no question. The winner of this series goes up in the rankings. It's just as simple as that. Fort Wayne's falling because they lost over the weekend to it doesn't really matter who they lost to, but they lost over the weekend on Sunday. So, let's see. Got another question, which we've already kind of gone over. Who are the guys and what numbers do we need to shut down? So I will say this about Fresno, and I know it sounds like I'm glazing them a lot, but they have a great owner. Just like David for us, they have a great owner that cares. He's put a lot of time. He's put a lot of effort in this team. The Monsters have been around forever. They've been around forever. Between this league and another league, they have been around forever. They are consistent. They have a great broadcast. They have a great atmosphere. They have great fans. And those fans will post all over Facebook. Those fans will do everything that we do. These are the top 2 teams in the West Coast. The western half of the United States is us. So this will be crazy. So when I say names, you'll actually be able to see the names on the back of the jerseys. You won't have issues. So the numbers that you're looking for are going to be 96. They are going to be 37, 21, 20, 15, 13, 9, and 8. They've got 2 forward lines that will absolutely score on you without questions. Their 2 forward lines will match up with our 2 forward lines. And like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we both end up with 6 goals. It also wouldn't surprise me if it's 1-0 game because our 2 goalies, between what they have with Hammerstrom, what we have with Benny, 2 amazing goalies, 2 great goalies that are going to be fired up to be playing on any of these games, whether it's all 3 games, whether it's 2 of these games, whether it's Friday, Sunday, whether it's Friday, Saturday. But you are going to get Benny on Friday. You are going to get Noah on Friday. And it is a battle of not David and Goliath. This is a battle of Goliath versus Goliath. Gandalf versus whoever the other wizard is in Lord of the Rings. I don't know who it is, but whatever his name is. It's just Dumbledore versus Voldemort. Like it's where we're at. Like this series is absolutely insane, and I can't look to it. Some things to look about. Coach House is 6 wins away from his 100th win as an Oiler.
Good for him.
He just reached his 100th game coaching on that Saturday game against Fresno. So, pretty good win percentage.
Yeah.
Pretty good win percentage, if I do say so myself. I think. Oh, the I completely glossed over the goon question. No, I didn't. I said the whole team is goons. If we're going to talk about one specific player that is kind of head goon, that is kind of your Daniel Radkovich for Seattle, it's number 77. It's Mateo Tavares. He's kind of your lead goon. He's the guy that will go after everyone. And then I think it's Vesterland is your second guy. So those are your top two. Gavin, what else do you have on Fresno that I haven't already mentioned or that you want to cement in our dear listeners' heads?
I think you hit the nail on the head, Trevor.
Yeah, very long-winded. I apologize for being long-winded, but this is that series that I feel just 100% checked in for. I will be on my A game. I've got an intro that is going to absolutely kill. It's going to pump everyone up. So, be ready for that. The last question that I had that was given to us is, what are Fresno's strengths? We've gone over that. What do we have to do to pull a 3-game sweep? Kind of talked about that. Are they a penalty team? Yes, kind of, but not really. So, they're about as it's us in the Pacific, really, is what this comes down to. Our top defensive pair of Tricosis and Hagnalov is going to go up against their number one line, whether that's Sacco, Urte, and Lindgren, or Gomez, Sacco, and Urte. Our number one D is going to be on the ice for their number one forward positions. This is just how it is. This is going to be an NHL style matchup. Your number one is going to go up against your number one. Your number two is going to go up against your number two. It's just the matchup is crazy. We get the opportunity to have last change all 3 games. That's a huge plus. We get the last change, massive opportunity. Now, does that lead to them having the massive opportunity come February? Yes, absolutely. But at least we get to kick that off with the last change. We get to see what they're doing before we put out what we do. Yeah, I think that is all the listener questions and the Fresno breakdown all in one. So now we will go on. I'm going to try my best, because this is really going to be where we miss Caitlin. But I'm going to try my best to give you the best weather segment that I can deliver on behalf of one Miss Caitlin Rodriguez.
Weather, look ahead. Caitlin says she called for a blizzard. You froze off your head, causing a ditch. Got launched by a moose, so you better listen to this week's weather. Look ahead.
Yes, your weather look ahead. I will do my best to give you an accurate weather prediction. Friday night, 8:30 p.m. start. We are looking at a 30-degree evening, a real fill of 30 degrees, no probability of thunderstorms, so I am definitely not playing the sound effect this weekend, at least for Friday. On Saturday, we drop a little bit more, somewhere around 25 degrees, but we do have a real fill of 31 degrees. Again, no probability of some thunderstorms, wind gusts in the 10s miles an hour, teens being what I meant to say, anywhere from 33 to 31 real fill is what we are looking at. On Sunday, a 1:30 start time. We are looking at what's up on Sunday. Sunday, a lot better. Love Sunday. Sunday, a 55-degree is what we're looking at. A real fill of 63. A 1% chance of participation. Don't know if that quite merits the thunder and the rain, but yeah, 55 degrees, real fill of 63 with a 46% cloud cover on Sunday afternoon for the third game. Final thoughts to wrap up this week's podcast. I appreciate you guys. If you have been here this entire time, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Chats, comments, ratings, 5 stars helps out the podcast a lot. So if you could do that for the three of us, I would appreciate that a lot. Your Grand Junction recap, they won. The boys did phenomenal. In fact, on both Friday and Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, whatever that was, they were all voted as part of the 3 stars. Lenko was a 1, and then Pohala and Callie and Kelly were the other. Really good games against Pueblo. They are sitting in a very good spot in the DC standings after last weekend, just behind Ogden, who once again has still not lost in regulation. They have 1 shootout loss, but they're only 3 games behind. Now Ogden does have 3 games in hand over Grand Junction, who have played 17 compared to their 14. Idaho has played 12 games, so they have 5 games in hand with 17 points. But Grand Junction, by and away, has played more games than everyone else. 11-4-2 is their record. If we're looking at their leaders, Callie and Kelly leads the team with 8 goals. Casper leads the team in assists and total points, 17 assists and 22 points. Marandola played the other day, looked really good, actually. He got his second win of the year. I'm going to go back to this because this website, again, is ass. So 11-2. Yeah, 11-2. 2 goals against, a 957 save percentage. So played really well on, that's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Played really well on Sunday. So shout out to Marandola, who has back-to-back wins against Pueblo. 18th of October, only allowed 1 goal. And then on the 2nd, this past Sunday, allowed 2 goals. So that is your Grand Junction recap. Gavin, hit me with your final thoughts before we get out of here. I know that you're kind of having some technical issues, so hit me with your final thoughts, and we will end this bad boy. Great final thoughts. Great final thoughts. Gavin, I could not have said it better myself if I was in the room on your phone speaking for you. Great final thoughts. Having some technical issues, not as normal house tonight, so I think that's where we're having the issues with. But that will wrap it up. Again, we need all the support we can get on this weekend. Absolutely need all the support. Show up, get there early, get your seats. Let's start this from the second they step on the ice for warm-ups and finish all the way through. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Ray Ham Burgers and Barbecue for once again sponsoring this podcast. Go see them Friday, Saturday. They open at 7, and I think it's 7 to 9, maybe 7 to 10, 7 to when they run out, I would imagine is probably the best time to get there. Sandwiches, French fries, mac and cheese, they're fully set up, so go take advantage of those guys while they're there. Gavin's back. Do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
My Wi-Fi's going to crap and my phone's overheating, so let's just get this done and over with. Please.
Okay. Great final thoughts. Appreciate you guys again. 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. The full video will be available on Spotify. It got taken down because I thought that I'd used a non-copyright song, but I guess I used a copyright song. So that's why the podcast is not on Spotify from last week. Fix that going into this week. So full video will be on Spotify. Full video will be on Facebook and YouTube for you to watch it live if you want, for the look at the burgers and barbecue, mac and cheese, or the Halloween costume where we break that down. You can go see those clips there. Signing off before this 3-game massive series. This is my co-host, Gavin Schott. I know Caitlin sends her best wishes. I am Trevor Tiny Richards, and I will end this by saying, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.